Hello guys, Moukass here. In this video I'm gonna talk about the Lattice system and the base capture mechanics and the vehicle spawn mechanics and how they are hurting the game now, because I'm getting a little more worried of the game right now because I love it and I want to play it for a long time. But Amerish has been updated recently. They added the Lattice system and there is the good and the bad. But for now I'm gonna talk about the Lattice system in Indar because that's the most played continent, and actually that's the continent I played the most. This is a little rant, but I'm doing it because I love Planetside too, and I would like that it will become even better. It's very awesome now, but I think just a few adjustments could make it really exceptional. What bothers me the most with the Lattice system is that it creates always the same fights. Before the Amerish revamp I was trying to stay away from Indar because the game was getting repetitive. Most of the time when I log on, the biggest fights are often at the same place. Like if you have the southwest warp gate, almost always there is a stalemate between Quartz Ridge and the Indar Excavation site. Or maybe sometimes it go to Hajvar or Hajvar Northgate Garrison, but it's always the same thing in this place. There is a big choke point at Allatum Biolab. It's very hard to go past this base. Same thing at Scared Mesa, like the region truck to Scared Mesa link is ridiculous. I'll explain why and I'll talk about how I would make it better. Also, the crossroads to the crown link is very hard to cross. And actually, each time there is a tower or a biolab, it's a big choke point. It's almost always the same case. Sometimes it's special bases like Scared Mesa, because the Scared Mesa base is very hard to take. The design is favorizing the defenders a lot. So sometimes these fights are stalemates that last for hours, like the back and forth between two bases, like sometimes Quartz Ridge and Indar Excavation, to go back and forward between Scared Mesa and Red Ridge. Vision Truck and Scared Mesa, it's much rarer. It's because actually the people at Scared Mesa never try to attack Region Truck because it's almost impossible. I think these stalemates are mostly due to the Lattice system that is too rigid, and the vehicle spawn mechanics and the base capture mechanics and the level design, of course. So when I say that the Lattice system is too rigid, it means that the Lattice lines are too derigid. I think they could add more links at some bases to create like alternative attack routes for the faction attacking, and the defenders will have to anticipate which link the enemy is gonna take. Because right now there is almost no surprise. You can follow the zerg on the map. You know that they'll take everything on their path until they get to a major choke point. And these major choke points are created by level design, the base capture mechanics, and the vehicle spawn mechanics. And for me the most obvious example on Indar is Scared Mesa. Actually you can only attack it from Region Truck Garrison or Red Ridge Communications. And there's only 2 jump pads for infantry to get in. The vehicles don't have a role inside, but air can have a big role. So people just don't attack this base unless this is a big zerg with like 80% pop, and they camp the small spawn room because the spawn room is ridiculously small also. There is no teleporter. If this spawn room can be camped like by 10 guys, 2 maxes inside this room. Also Liberator, and that's it. You have to storm it before the defenders react or zerg it. So to fix this, I think the Scared Mesa should have more ways to get in, like more jumpers, stairs to get from the bottom to the top. Also I think they could use more control points, like the A point stays where it is, maybe B point that will be at the bottom, so it will give a reason for the defenders to stop camping the jumpers, and maybe another C point a little further away. So there is one point that is harder to defend, one that is very easy to defend, and one between the two. I think it's a good compromise. So I think adding more control points will spread out the fight and make it more balanced for the attackers, and it will give a reason for defenders to stop camping the jumpers and doing something more fun. Also I think we should be able to spawn tanks at Scared Mesa, because it's almost impossible to attack Region Truck without tanks. And actually any tower. Towers are very hard bases to take because the defenders can spawn tanks, they have AV turrets, and they have A points right next to their spawn. So if you don't have a big force, you will not take it. So another example is when attacking Indar Excavation site from Quartz Ridge. Here there is the vehicle spawn mechanics that are problematic. because the faction at Indar excavation site can spawn tanks, and the one at Quartz Ridge cannot. And I think it's and I regret it because there is a freaking awesome desert between the two bases, but one faction can spawn tanks and the other can't. So it's one-sided, like the heavy tanks at Indar excavation are gonna destroy everything in this desert. So I think that first Quartz Ridge should be able to spawn tanks, so we take advantage of this awesome desert, so there is big battles in there. So over time it's almost always at the advantage of the tower defenders, and what makes it worse is that the A point is in the tower, so it's almost impossible to capture for the attackers unless there is zerging with like 80% pop. Also the B point is here. It's pretty easy to defend for the defenders, and the Sunderers are very exposed in the desert to tanks. Like if a tank spawn, he can go to a suicide mission, destroy any Sunderer he wants. Like even a lightning, if you spawn a lightning and he go to a suicide mission, he destroy everything if he wants. So this makes an Indar excavation site another major choke point. The attackers often get pushed back and farmed. So when the defenders become attackers and try to attack Quartz Ridge again, there's a big choke point. Quartz Ridge is pretty easy to defend from the walls. The tanks have no use, and the Sunderers are very exposed again. And the 3 control points are inside the base, and it's pretty easy to defend 2 of them. So the attackers get pushed back, and it repeats back and forth between these 2 bases. So I think the Quartz Ridge, the infantry fights inside Quartz Ridge are really great when Sunderer try to get inside or have a good position, but it doesn't last long. But I think the Quartz Ridge base should be a little easier to attack. Maybe they could add the control point outside of the walls, like 1 control point outside of the walls, 2 that are inside. One of them is hard to attack and another one in the middle. And also Quartz Ridge should be able to spawn tanks, so we take advantage of this desert. There's almost never fight in this desert. So another example is Allatum Biolab, and this is almost only due to the Biolab design. Almost all the Biolabs are major choke points. It's almost impossible to take it unless you have like a big zerg with more than 70% pop, and then you can take it. And I'm really sorry to say that, but I think these are the worst facilities of Planetside 2. It's almost always camping the landing pads, or camping the teleporter room, or camping the shield generator, camping the SEU. It's horrible. Seriously, I prefer to fight outside the Biolab, but the basement level is not valorized. There's very few fights in the basement level. I think that the base should have more entrances for the attackers. Like 2 landing pads, it's really not enough. Maybe 3 or maybe 4, or actually more entrances. Maybe stairs to get in from the basement. And also, I don't like that there is jumpers in the satellites. There is a jumper in all the satellites that get you on the landing pads. There's also a teleporter that make you skip all this area between the satellite and the Biolab. So there is almost no reason to defend the Sunderers that is parked below the landing pad. And the defenders can spawn tanks and everything, and they have a shield to protect them, so it's a huge advantage. I think the vehicle terminals in the basement of the Biolab should not be protected anymore by the shields, like only the teleporter entrance, so the defenders don't get farmed, but they'll have to fight to spawn vehicles if they want. Also, I think that they should add almost in every Biolab a control point in the basement level, so there is a reason for the defenders to go down and the attackers to go to the basement level. Because right now it's almost the same fights in the same areas. It's horrible in almost every Biolab in every continent. Actually, I like to defend them because it's a good farm, you get a lot of certs. But attacking a Biolab in 48 and 48 battles, it's a stalemate. Almost always you need to have like 80% pep to zerg it and take it. So when I say that the lattice link is too rigid, I think they should add more lattice links between bases that are very close. For example, there should be more links at much more facilities, because right now it's almost always creating the same fights. Like if you want to, I think they should also add a link between Xenotech Labs and Broken Arch Road. Like it will not be necessary to take Crossroads to go to Broken Arch and to the tech plant. It will create like more varied situations, because right now Crossroads Watchtower is also a big choke point, and to attack it you need like 70 or 80% pop and the huge air support and tank support. Also there is a few links that are not logical, like from the crown. There is almost no way you can take the crown from Ceres Hydroponics. Even from the palisade it's very hard. So this is overall this is promoting zerging, because sometimes there is like no way to take a base with the balanced fight. Actually, if there is 20 enemies and you go with 20 attackers, the enemies are gonna eat you alive. They're gonna destroy the Sunderers and farm you, and this is often due to the base capture mechanics. Like here in the crown it's pretty balanced because A point is outside the tower, but in most towers the A point is inside, and you need to spend like 15 minutes camping B and C to take the base. Like oftentimes now the common technique to take a tower is to camp B and C for 15 minutes, and it's a boring capture. I think it should be a little better. Maybe if they move A point outside of the tower, either the capture will be much faster and the battle will be more spread out. If the defenders want to camp in their tower, they can camp, but they will lose the tower very soon. Because right now the defenders can camp the tower for 15 minutes and they can also defend the base, because if someone sneak out and take B or C, the capture is delayed and the defenders get pushed out. Like the more the battle lasts, the more the attackers are gonna get screwed. So guys, that's it for this video. I hope you agree with this. If you have anything to add, you can comment below, of course. I'd love to hear your feedback about this, because I'm getting a little more worried about that since the Amerish revamp, and I saw that there is almost the same problems on Amerish, and I love this continent. The bases are awesome, taken separately. Like the base design is awesome, the bases are beautiful, but the links are too rigid again, and it creates the same fight, and I think this requires much more tuning. The Lattice system is not a bad thing, I think, but there is too few links, I think. Like the links are too strange. Like why don't they add more links? What do they lose about that? Seriously? Like each time if two bases are very close, why isn't there a link? So it will still funnel the battles, but it will be a little more spread out. Like you're not forced to attack a base, almost the same base from the same angle. That's what I don't like. So that's it. So if you agree with this, please share the video with the devs if you can. I'll put it in the official forums and on Reddit. So please support it if you can and if you want. And that's it, guys. Maybe I'll do another video like that about Amerish and Esamir. I didn't talk about Esamir, but Esamir is I almost never play on Esamir now, because I don't like not really the Lattice links, but the vehicle spawn mechanics. It's just because there is only one tech plant, and the faction that is owning this tech plant is dominating the continent. That's almost the same thing. That's what I don't like. So that's it, guys. Good job SOE anyway for this awesome game. I'm still enjoying it a lot. I love it, but there is more work, I think. Not much, seriously. You already have done like 99%. There is a few more things that are very important, and I think they should be changed. That's it. Alright, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a big ass thumbs up if you did. Don't forget also to comment if you have anything more to say. And that's it. I'll see you in the next video, guys. See you!